Hey guys, it's that.
Cassie found something here. It's the size of a nickel.
Buffalo nickel, give me the fufu juice.
Oh, I gotta keep digging some more here. Let's see what else we can get. I found myself a bucket lister. I got a crotal bell.
It's a weedy.
You found a weedy?
Yes.
Sweet. A Walking Liberty 1943 half dollar. Oh my god, it's freaking gorgeous. You got an Indian? Oh my god, Cassie got an IHP. Needless to say, I am a happy camper. Morning, everybody. We're out here for another beautiful day, and we're getting ready to do some more metal detecting. I'm at the same spot I was in the last video. The old school, not terribly old, but the school that I found where Cassie and I did our little challenge. And I brought the Equinox and Simplex out to do a little test. Today, I'm going to start out with the Simplex, and we're going to go back over the same area that I ended up yesterday doing with the Equinox, where I found the mercury dime and the buffalo nickel. Don't have high hopes for the area, but what I really want to do is test out an update on the Simplex. My Simplex had the 2.76 revision of the operating system, or whatever you want to call it, when I bought it. I updated last night to the 2.78 revision, and there are two notable things about that revision that I want to try out. In 2.77, they added a mute feature where if you push the pinpoint button on the detector, I think you just press and release quickly. It mutes the audio, and what's useful about that is if you have a pinpointer like the Garrett pinpointer or the ProPointer AT or a lot of the other detectors out there, they all operate on the same or a similar frequency as the Simplex. So when you turn your pinpointer on, your Simplex starts chattering like a 2-year-old hyped up on Halloween candy, which is not a good thing, in case you're wondering. It's chattery. And you got to take your headphones off or do something. I mean, the good thing is after about 20 or 30 hours of using the detector, your brain starts learning to filter that chatter out automatically so you don't hear it as much, but I don't want my brain doing that work. With my brain, I'm not sure it can handle it long term. I feel like I'm going to burn something out I might need later, so I want the machine to do the work of canceling out that chatter. So I'm really excited about that. Second, though, in 2.7, they say something on the website about going back to the VDI stability of the 2.68 revision. So I have high hopes for that. I'm hoping that means the VDI numbers are usable. One of the things I have issues with the Simplex is it's almost a dig-it-all machine because the numbers aren't usable with the revision that I have on it. Everything comes up in the 90s almost. Unless you have a super solid hard edge signal that isn't too deep, almost everything comes up in the 90s. Foil, 90s. Nail, 90s. Doesn't matter what it is, 90s. It's like the detector's like, I don't know what it is, man. Let's call it a 90 and you dig it. You find out. That's the detector's job. It should be a little bit more consistent than that. Almost every other detector out there that has a VDI range similar to this, like a foil is going to show up in the 40s or something like that. Or nails, iron is going to show up really low. Maybe maxing out somewhere in the low 30s, mid 30s or something like that. Usually lower, but you get the picture. And everything on this thing has been, if it doesn't know what it is, 90s. And it's super frustrating because I want to learn the numbers. I just haven't had any usable numbers to go with. So I'm hoping this 2.78 revision that goes back to the 2.68 stability gives us some of that. So I've been chattering like a 2-year-old hyped up on Halloween candy. Let's go do some detecting and see what we can find. first item up is just a shallow dime, but that is a good start. The VDI numbers did seem to be a little bit more reliable. They were not in the 90s. Of course, it was a shallow dime, so that would hopefully be accurate. And the mute works. Check that out. All I've got to do is push that, and the mute comes on. That is freaking awesome. I love that. So let's keep going. Well, check her out there. Got that one about hand deep there. Thought it was a wheat, but as it's drying, that's looking like it could potentially be an Indian head. That looks like a wreath trying to show through on the back, doesn't it? Rub that sucker on my pants here. And that didn't help a lot, did it? But wow. Let's check out that other side. The VDI numbers with the Simplex are much more understandable now. Yeah, I think that's a headdress to an Indian head peeking through there, isn't it? Let me take a toothpick and clean this up a little bit and see what we got here. Check that out. Is that nice or what? 1864, but look at that edge. It's not a fat edge. This is like the third 1864 I found, which was a transitional year when they went from the copper to the bronze or whatever they were using. And none of the 1864s I found have been fatties. I've still yet to find a fatty. I will definitely take that though. That is beautiful. That's an unexpected find. And I pulled that out with a Simplex. That is awesome. Definitely made my day. Got me a nickel. It was fairly shallow, only about 4 inches or so. Nothing special about it. But it's a nickel that I missed with the Equinox. So the nickel magnet strikes again. Well, I had this signal here. It wasn't a super awesome signal. I'm trying to get where you can actually see me from the sun, because the sun's to my back right now. Wasn't a great signal, but I dug it anyway. It was pretty shallow, only about 4 inches. I think I might have just got silver. Let's take a look. Doesn't that look like silver right there? Oh my God, I think that even says 1 dime on the back of it. Perhaps. Let's get my little spray bottle out here. See if we can take a look. I still can't make that out. I'm going to rub it lightly. I think that actually may be Canadian, perhaps. Let me spray it a little bit more here. Yeah, that's Canadian. That's probably why it was a little bit off on the signal. 10 cents. So I can probably rub this a little bit. Hang on, let me spray it off and get the mud off my hands. Be right back. Alright, there we go. Oh, there's the date over there. I had it on the right side. It's just an 81 Canadian dime, but I think these are made out of pure nickel or something like that, not an alloy. Maybe it is an alloy, but these things will fool you because they stay shiny better than the US equivalent. I mean, for 81, that thing looks gorgeous. We'll take it. Had me fooled for a second there, though. I thought I might have had like a barber or something. That's what we've got so far. The area that I covered was the same spot that I did with the Equinox yesterday, and came away with some additional finds. Of course, lots of garbage, although not as bad as it was in the past. Like the nail and stuff like that, the wire with the new 2.78 update, I was able to pinpoint those a lot more accurately. This could have been a lot more than it is, but the update, you got to do a fast wiggle. You can't do a slow wiggle like you can on the Equinox. You got to do a fast wiggle, and then the VDI numbers will settle down quite a bit. Although there's some, I mean, you got to dig a lot of stuff just to make sure. And could have jotted down my results here. I found a whole pencil. It's an inch long pencil, but it's a pencil. But here's what I did come away with: a couple of nickels. I think that's a zinc penny, a dime, a Canadian dime, and that beautiful 1864 Indian head. That was definitely worth it. So, not bad. The 2.78 update, I think, is extremely useful, and it makes this machine, it reacts different, it sounds different, it's much more usable and friendly. I really like using it a lot better. Just in a short amount of time I've tried it. But if you have the 2.68 and you haven't gone to 2.78, I would say try it. I mean, what the heck? Because a lot of people I'm hearing are going back to 2.68. If you go to 2.78, it gives you that stability and the extra functionality. And I really like it so far. So from now, I'm going to go back to the car to get some water, and then we're going to do some more detecting. And we have yet another nickel. I had to stop for lunch, and I moved to another spot. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I didn't go back out to that one school. It takes me about 20 minutes to drive there. This is 10 minutes from the house. And like my third target, first one was some random piece of tubing of some sort, and the next two were nickels. So nickel magnets, back at it again. This is a place I've been to before many times, and I'm here trying it with the Simplex 2.78 update, just for the heck of it. This is an interesting one. It was just about 3 inches under the ground, maybe, if that. It's just the back to a button. Looks to be pretty modern, but it's cool. I like the pattern on it. We'll definitely take her and keep on going. Just a couple of feet away, really, and I got another button. Again, nothing special. It's a modern button, as you can, I think, see by the lettering there. Kensington Express, or oh wait. That's a cool button. Check that out. It's got a shank on the back of it, but it says Kensington Express 20 gauge, doesn't it? That's really cool. I gotta look that up a little bit more, but that's a cool button. Nice. I like that. I might have to reuse that somewhere. Just pulled this out pretty deep there, several inches. I think it is just a button back. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But it looks like, oh, it's a weave, basket weave pattern. I thought it had lettering on it at first, but it's just a basket weave pattern. That sucker's been down there for a while. It was deep. Apparently this is modern button day. We'll keep it going though. Well, this is different. You know, if it had a point on it, I might say it was a hatchet. I just found something like this recently somewhere. I can't remember where it was. And I found another piece like this just a little while ago that I threw up on a piece of, on the pavement as I was heading out. And I think that's where I'm going to set this one too, so I don't forget it. I have no clue what this is though. I mean, doesn't that look like part of a hatchet? It just, maybe the tip's broken? I don't know. I can't figure out what else it would be. You guys got any answers? Let me know. Got me another button. This is that two-piece back, also iron back, modern stuff. But it's another button. I found a ton of this stuff. This one looks like it has a flower of some sort. Little floral pattern. Cute button. We'll take it and keep going. I got a little time left. Well, deja vu. I just got another one of these things. Is this a plow point, perhaps? I don't know. That just, I don't know what it is. But that's the third one of these things I've found today. And they're all deep. This sucker was way down there, like 10, 11 inches maybe. I don't want to find any more of those. They're too deep. Continuation, it's a different day. But I'm back at the same spot that I ended up last time. And guess what I just found? Another nickel. Let's take a look and see what we got. So there it is on top of the plug. Oh, I just noticed that. That's a buffalo. I just got a buffalo. And it's got a date. I'll be danged. I don't think I've found this many buffaloes with the Equinox. That's got a date on it too. Check that out. 1936 it looks like. That is awesome. I just got myself a buffalo nickel. I tell you, I was not expecting that. I didn't even bring my jacket with me to put, you know, special finds in, so I'm just gonna have to stick this in my pocket, I guess. Wow, cool. Let's keep going for a bit. It's hot. It's getting into those dog days. Well, you know, puppy days, I guess. Anyway, I'm warm. Let's keep going. And that concludes our hunt for the week. I'd say it was a pretty good week. So this primarily highlights the Simplex with the 2.78 update too. And like I said in the beginning, that had the promise of being something really good because one, it gave me that mute button for the audio, which is fantastic. Nokta, you're doing an awesome job listening to your customers say that wanted something like that. That is an awesome addition, and I use it constantly now. To the 2.68 down rev for the VDI numbers included in the 2.78 update. That was also a very smart move. This is a much more usable and much more friendly machine now. I don't get as frustrated with it. And God, I hate saying this because it's dang near a third the price of the Equinox that I got. I grab it a lot these days. I probably grab it more than my Equinox. But then again, I'm going back to places right now that I have hunted with the Equinox and going over them with the Simplex to see what it can find. And the Simplex is doing its job, pulling out some interesting little tidbits, nickels, things like that. So it's revitalizing areas that I've been to before, and it's really fun. I've had a lot of fun lately getting out, learning this thing, and doing this. And that's what metal detecting is about. And for the price, to have a metal detector capable of doing that and providing that fun, I almost hate to say it because it is so inexpensive for what its capabilities are, but it's a fun detector now. And I'm really enjoying getting out there and using it. So let me show you what I did end up with now that we have updated to the 2.78 revision. Alright, this is what we got going on here. Big old nail. I just had to get that. Square nail. And by the way, those nails with a 2.78 revision, they do end up being easier to pinpoint. They're not as deep in the sidewall, if at all now. So I'm doing a lot better on those. It's not as bad. This stuff was mostly straight down. Still have no freaking idea what these things are. I'm thinking they may be part of a plow point. I'm not real sure. I just don't know. I know somebody out there is bound to know a lot more about farm implements than I do. That could probably help me out. I have no idea. They have a familiar look to them, but I just don't know. Got some zinc pennies. I found part of a mason jar lid. Wasn't going to show that in particular, but I wish the lid part would have been whole. Look how pretty that like sunray pattern in it is. That's just a cool lid. I like that. I mean, it was already destroyed, but still, there's that Canadian. It's tarnished a little bit more out of the ground, but man, when I pulled that out, I thought I had me a barber dime, and I was all excited. Some other bobs and bits. I think this is the top to an old pencil of some sort. I don't know. I think that's an eraser on the end. I don't know. I've never seen one like it. These buttons, and this one was cool. This is the one that said Kimmington is what it is. And it is a Remington knockoff. They just replaced the R with a K, or basically chopped the top of the R off. So it's probably like a Chinese knockoff. I think this was like from the 70s or something like that, so it's not particularly old. But I still think that was a brilliant idea. I think this is a really cool button. Nothing special or old, but still cool. And there's those other buttons. None of them particularly old or cool. But, you know, interesting. Might hit a pencil. Got that 1864 skinny IHP. A 36 Buffalo. I mean, date was nice on that one. Can see that without even zooming in. And a few older coins that weren't really that old, but, you know, just let you know there's stuff around. So I'd say that was a pretty successful week. Very, 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 very happy with that 2.7 update. I cannot say that enough. I really, I think, like I said, Nokta's doing a good job with this detector. Listening to the customers, understanding that the 2.76 revision, the VDIs were no good, and then having the guts to say, okay, that was our screw up. We're going back. We know people are back revving. We're listening to you. We're going to put out an update that has additional functionality and the older revision for you, so you don't have to go backwards. You can continue going forward. I've never tried any of the other detectors from Nokta, but this really tells me that it's possible that they are really good. I know Quarter Hoarder, Jason Bafuzzi uses, and I hope I didn't screw up his last name, uses that Nokta Amphibio. Now I've got to the point where I would really love to try one of those. I wish I knew somebody in the area that had one. I don't think I would go buy one because I just don't have the money, and I have way too many other things to spend my money on that I need to do right now. And kids that continue to drain it. So, you know, it is what it is. I still love the Simplex, and I love my Equinox. So I'm not looking for a replacement. I just like to try it out. You know what? I'm rambling now, and there's detecting that needs to be done. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully you're out there finding your treasures and enjoying your life. And if you're looking to get a detector and you're thinking you want something, if you get into the Simplex, it is not necessarily a beginner detector. It's inexpensive, but as a beginner, it's complex to learn the tones. You might get a little bit frustrated. As a beginner, watch a lot of videos. If you're going to get into something like this, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to be committed to it. But if you're willing to do that, I think this is a detector that for the price, you can go a long way with, and then have a lot of fun days and fun hours ahead of you. So anyway, talk to you guys later, and let's go get some detecting done.